Hello there, loyal Flirting with Wallet Chains listeners. I'm Dan Experience, and some of you might be a little bit confused right now because you pulled up your iTunes feed or Podcast Addict or whatever you subscribe to podcasts on, and all of a sudden you see this show that you didn't subscribe to called the Pop Culture Spectrum. Well, it's because you were a Flirting with Wallet Chains subscriber, and we are rebranding the show. It's no longer going to be called Flirting with Wallet Chains. It's now going to be called the Pop Culture Spectrum. I didn't give you guys any warning because that's just how I operate, I guess. But hopefully you'll want to stay subscribed to this. It's not going to be that vastly different. The thinking was, since we launched the Guiltless Network, which you can check out at guiltlessnetwork.com, since we launched that, and Patrick and Joe have the Guiltless podcast as kind of a general talk show, it felt redundant for me to also have just a general talk show. So I decided to rebrand my show, Flirting with Wallet Chains, from a general talk show into a more pop culture specific show. So every week it's going to be different topics and guests and stuff, all revolving around pop culture, music, movies, TV, books, what have you. It's, like I said, it's not going to be that different. It's just going to be a little bit more hyper-focused. In fact, the theme song is going to stay the same because I so very much love the song that we got from the band Goosed as our intro music. So that's going to stay the same. But the name of the podcast and the artwork are going to be different from here on out. And this intro might also be confusing because I don't know how long it takes like iTunes and things to update the things like the artwork or the updated title. So some of you might be like, no, I'm still seeing Flirting with Wallet Chains. If that's the case, in the near future, it's going to change to Pop Culture Spectrum. And I hope that you all stick with me and continue listening to the show. And for anybody that's curious, Felicia will still be involved in a little bit more limited capacity. She's got 2 kids at home, one of whom is a newborn. So her schedule is a little bit more hectic, and I don't want to make her have the obligation of doing a weekly show. So she's going to be involved when she can. So she's not going away. But we're going to have a lot more guests, and we're going to be talking, like I said, more focused about pop culture. One note for today's show is that you're about to listen to. We recorded this, Patrick and I, recorded this several weeks ago, probably a couple months ago, and it was before I had the name finalized, so I reference it as the Pop Culture Experience. It's not called the Pop Culture Experience. I decided to go with the Pop Culture Spectrum. Yes, my last name is Experience, but honestly, any podcast that has the word experience in the title feels a little bit derivative of Joe Rogan, and I didn't want that, so we changed it to Pop Culture Spectrum. I reference it as Pop Culture Experience in this show, but that will be the only episode where that happens. And I think that that's all the update that I have for you guys. Let's go ahead and start the show. Welcome to the Pop Culture Experience. I am your host, Dan Experience, reminding you that Barry Manilow did not write the song, I write the songs. And today, we are joined by my friend from the Guiltless podcast, Patrick. Can I use your last name or no?
Yeah,
you go
fine.
first name?
It doesn't really matter.
Hotshot Patrick Garitano from the Guiltless podcast. Part of the Guiltless Network by the time this comes out.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're recording this in advance.
Yeah.
A little peek behind the curtain. By the time this comes out, we'll have made the announcement. The website will be up.
Yep.
Guiltlessnetwork.com. Patrick is one of the 2 hosts, along with Joe, of the Guiltless podcast. And we're all one big happy family now.
Yep.
This is my show, though, my pop culture show. And we were just talking when the mics were off about something, and we realized, hey, this has to do with pop culture. Let's fucking record it.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that first, and then later on in the show, we are going to talk about cover songs. But first, we're going to talk about, you brought up Winnie the Pooh,
Mm-hmm.
and in relation to your children, tell me what you said earlier.
So, Winnie the Pooh as Winnie the Pooh and all those other characters, Tigger and Owl, and I know them pretty well.
Eeyore.
Eeyore.
I was always
Piglet.
an Eeyore fan.
Oh,
Shocking.
how can you not be?
Yeah, shocking. Someone
Right?
with severe depression loves Eeyore.
They aren't real within the story of Winnie the Pooh. They are a figment of the imagination of Christopher Robin, who is ultimately the main character, right?
Yes. So all of those characters are fictional characters within the show. They are fictional characters to us, obviously, as the viewers, like with any show. But in this show, they are also fictional characters in the show.
Correct.
Yeah.
So Christopher Robin, he has his bedroom, and he's got all these stuffed animals, and he pretends that they're real, and they have all these adventures in the 100-acre woods, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm sitting down with my kids, and they're watching one of their favorite Winnie the Pooh cartoons, which, by the way, has a lot of funny stuff in it. It really does. And I started to think about what the process of acknowledging this would be if I tried to explain this to my kids.
Which is... It's a valid question, because as I was just explaining, like as I was saying, they're fictional characters, but they're fictional characters in the show. I was thinking to myself, that's going to confuse a lot of adults that are listening to this show.
Right.
Trying to wrap your head around that as a child, I can't even fucking imagine.
Right. And my daughter, and this is not me being that typical parent that pats myself on the back because I have a very, very bright daughter. Mm-hmm. She's already reading at levels of a first grader that's more than halfway through the school year, right? Through testing.
Yeah.
And this is directly from her teacher. So I see her reason things that make me laugh all the time, because I'm like, you're not even an adult yet. You shouldn't be reasoning like that.
Yeah.
But like, if I tried to explain to my 6-year-old daughter, like, these lovable characters that she's watching and laughing along with and can't take her eyes off of, they're not even real. See that little cartoon boy? That's all happening in his imagination.
It's possible that since your kid is so bright that she'll be like, yeah, I know.
I honestly didn't even know that until you probably have heard the theory that, like, all the characters in Winnie the Pooh are different mental illnesses.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that they were figments of his imagination until I heard that for the first time.
Really?
I swear. I guess I'd never thought about it.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
I never read the books. I knew the cartoon from it being on.
Yeah.
But I never knew that they were just, things in his head. And I kind of like the whole, like, different mental illness analogy.
It kind of adds up, especially looking at Eeyore and Tigger.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then Piglet's an anxious little fuck.
Yeah. he is an anxious little fuck.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this cartoon. Like, there's this part where they're all down in this hole, and Piglet, and none of them can get out. And Piglet somehow doesn't fall into the hole like the rest of them, right? So he does this thing where he's like, all right, guys, I'm on my way down. And like, they're like, no, stay up there. And he's just kind of like, he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
he's like, but you're all down there. No, and then, so, the anxious little fuck.
I know people like that.
So then then we start talking about, and you didn't know this, that Disney had made a movie called Christopher Robin.
Yeah.
It's a live action where Ewan McGregor plays a grown-up Christopher Robin. So what we started talking about was...
Well, first, I pointed out that they gave it the Hook treatment,
yes.
The movie Hook, which everybody loves that movie. That movie is dog shit. The movie Hook...
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not.
Yeah.
Maybe I've just been running around with idiots, but I have had so many arguments with people about... Oh, Rufio.
Yeah.
It's not a good movie.
He gets killed, doesn't he?
I don't care or no.
It is.
But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it once, and then like around Easter, it'll be on TV constantly.
Yeah.
Like TBS or something. I don't know why that time of year.
It's odd that Tinkerbell clearly wanted Peter Pan to fuck her.
Yes.
The physics just don't work.
No, but
I would imagine his penis is bigger than her entire entirety.
Yeah, Julia Roberts was Tinkerbell, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
I would. Boy, this is gonna. I'm going to give you a little bit of space before I say this and after I say this, so that if you want to cut this,
I appreciate it.
Beep. I would take Tinkerbell and try some shit.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, Tinkerbell is Julia Roberts.
I would just throw her down there and be like, move around a bunch.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to explore with your tongue.
But the thing is, Tinkerbell wouldn't be getting anything out of it.
Nope. But she was
Her genitals are so tiny.
totally agree.
So very small.
Totally agree. But she was clearly in like a pleasing mood, and in all honesty, that's really all you're looking for.
That's true. Good point.
Beep.
Oh, there's no way I'm editing that out. Are you kidding me?
I'm trying some shit. So anyhow, this they do, and you're right. It is the hook treatment, right?
Yeah.
You take the child to make him an adult. They forgot everything. It's the exact same. As a matter of fact, the whole fucking thing might be the exact same plot. It really might be because Ewan McGregor's Christopher Robin character starts interacting with Winnie the Pooh and all the friends again, right? For some reason, I'm not going to go into the details in case
severe mental illness.
This is what I'm saying. Like,
it's one thing for a child to have that kind of imagination, but as an adult, those are hallucinations. You might be a schizophrenic.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's interesting if you look at Winnie the Pooh through that lens.
It is interesting. Did you see you saw the Christopher Robin movie?
I didn't watch it. What I mean by that is my kids were watching it and I was doing things.
Gotcha.
So you catch something on TV while you're washing dishes, doing laundry or whatever, and you get bits and pieces.
Did they enjoy it?
No.
Oh, wow.
Not at all. The whole time they're like, "Can we watch the cartoon? Can we watch the cartoon? Can we watch the cartoon?"
You know, that's all of this recent rash of Disney re-releasing things as live action. I want to say, yeah, exactly. But it's not for children. It's for fucking stunted adults that can't get over their childhood.
Yes.
I say that as someone who is angrily clinging to misjustices that were done to me in my childhood, and who still actively watches cartoons. And last time we hung out, I was wearing an anime t-shirt. Yeah, and I'm sitting here talking shit about get over Disney, assholes.
So yeah, it's no, they didn't love it, and a big part of the reason is my daughter freaks the fuck out when the voices don't match. I'll give you a great example. So Charlie Brown Christmas, I fucking loved Charlie Brown Christmas as a child, so I played for my kids. And they've made a couple more since then, right? And they package them all into one DVD or whatever.
Right.
Every time the next episode comes on, which wasn't even animated until 20 years later, the first thing my daughter says is, "Why are the voices different?" You know?
Yeah.
I mean? So
that is a jarring change for a child. Like that is, when you're a child, you don't have a whole lot of obviously experience with the world.
Right.
And you get tied to fictional characters. Having a voice change, I have to imagine, would be very traumatic almost.
Sure.
Like, who is this imposter?
Exactly. You look at it and you go, it looks the same.
Yeah.
All its friends look the same. I don't understand why it sounds different.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that'd be some kind of mind fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this a no swearing podcast?
No.
I was kidding.
I'm shocked I haven't dropped a cunt yet.
You just broke your podcast cherry with a cunt.
I realized that the last time I recorded with you guys, I didn't say cunt, and it was the first time that we recorded together that I didn't say the word cunt. Yeah. And now I just said it 5 times in a row to make up for it. Right. I got a few cunts in the bank now.
You're flush with cunts.
That should have been the name of the podcast.
Yeah. Wait, it could have been FWC, flirting wallet chains, flush with cunts.
Motherfuck. Man, I'll re-edit the beginning of this podcast to where I say welcome to the pop culture experience. I'll just really awkwardly shoehorn, cut out pop culture experience and just flush with cunts. I just got to... I'm fucking distracted easily.
Oh, sure, yeah. I am too.
Well, we're going to be talking about any more Winnie the Pooh that we need to cover?
I think we've bored everybody with that.
Winnie the Pooh was one of my favorite cartoons as a child.
Maybe did you know as a child that they were figments of his imagination?
Well, we talked about this a little bit before we started recording, that my childhood was so fucked up that I had to become very adult very quickly. So I didn't have any whimsical delusions of anything as a child. So I knew exactly what was going on.
Right.
To put it into perspective, Pulp Fiction came out in 1994. Okay. I was 10 or 11 years old. My parents not only let me watch Pulp Fiction, they went out of their way to say, Dan, you're going to fucking love this movie. And they sat me down to watch Pulp Fiction when I was like 11 or 12 at that point because it was VHS. They were responsible enough not to take me to the theater.
Right. I couldn't even imagine being a child in that scene where John Travolta spins around in the car with the gun and blows that guy's brains out the back window. That was jarring.
Didn't even register as a blip on my radar as something that I should have been taken aback by. No.
Holy fuck.
This isn't my therapist, though. This is the pop culture experience, so we'll move on. We're going to be getting into talking about cover songs, and one of my friends actually just texted me and said, hey, you have the same taste in music as my 5-year-old, which she's probably not wrong about. Throw me some song titles when you get a chance so I can make her a CD. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to shift gears a little bit. What music should we recommend to my friend's 5-year-old daughter?
It's hard. It is. So music today is literally written on algorithms, right?
Yeah.
They're written in a way people have figured out what's pleasing to the ear, whether you're an adult or a child.
Yes, it's very formulaic.
Yes, so you couldn't go wrong with anything that's been in the top 40 over the last 5 years.
I don't know. Outside of Ariana Grande and Taylor Swift, I don't know shit about what's top 40. Okay. I know names. I know there's someone called Migos. That's a guy.
I've never heard of that.
There's a Tekashi 6ix9ine. He's apparently in prison now, but I don't know.
I know the only reason I know him is he's got tattoos on his face.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any recommendation though that I would make would not be top 40 within the past 5 years.
You could
maybe some Gigi Allen.
Gigi Allen. Okay.
I'm not recommending Gigi Allen.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, he was the guy that shit on stage and you don't know Gigi Allen?
Oh, I watched that documentary. Yes.
Yeah.
That actually might have been your DVD you let me borrow of that.
I did not own a DVD of somebody. No. Yeah, fuck it. We're not going to recommend music. We're going to go into the covers. Okay, so what sparked this whole thing was we were on a group text with Joe and Carissa. Joe, the other host of the Guiltless podcast, available at guiltlessnetwork.com. See that?
Bravo,
we're promoting.
Sir. Yeah.
But we were in a group text, and one of us made a reference to the Natalie Imbruglia song "Torn."
Me.
When you did it,
I'm sorry. You're right.
I think at some point all of us made a reference because it was over the course of a couple of days.
I'm sorry. I did fuck that whole thing up. You're right. That wasn't me. I discovered on my own.
Yes, that it was a cover song.
Yeah.
Which I'm fairly knowledgeable about things in the realm of pop culture, which is why I'm doing this podcast. Right. I had no idea that was a cover. and it blew my mind. And so you found an article of 25 songs that people don't know are covers.
Yeah.
Or 25 famous songs you never knew were covers.
So before you get into that, so just to go back to Torn, I always considered her a one-hit wonder based on the song Torn.
Yeah.
If you're a one-hit wonder based on a song that somebody else wrote, you're a no-hit wonder in my opinion.
And I would, I don't know if I can agree with you on that, given how many, especially when you're talking about like Billboard top songs, how many people don't write their own songs anyway?
Okay. Well, is that the same as somebody having had written and recorded it already versus somebody writes songs and you just record them?
I would say the difference would be if you are kind of piggybacking on the popularity of the song.
Okay.
I think that differentiates it.
And I actually think that's a tremendous point. Because if you don't know the song was a cover, how fucking popular was it?
Yes.
Okay.
And so that's why I'm okay keeping Natalie Imbruglia as a one-hit wonder because none of us who are all fairly knowledgeable in music, none of us knew that it was a cover until you pointed it out. But if your one hit is like a cover of Michael Jackson's Beat It, yeah, you don't get credit for the hit.
Oh, we're going to get into that, believe me.
So what we have here, I have not read this article yet, so I'm seeing this with fresh eyes. The number one is Girls Just Want to Have Fun. This one I did know was a cover. Oddly enough, the original was a man.
I did not know it was a cover.
Yeah. Before Cyndi Lauper dropped this anthem for all women, new wave musician Robert Hazard. I could not have told you who did it.
Okay.
I knew it was a cover, though. Apparently, Robert Hazard was a hot name in the Philadelphia club scene during the 80s, though, and he recorded the song.
Huh.
Yeah. Number two, Blinded by the Light by Manfred Mann's Earth Band.
I did not know that was a cover either.
That, if I'm not looking at the list, I believe was a Bruce Springsteen song.
Really? Did he?
Yep, Bruce Springsteen.
Did he have the line in there?
Sounds completely different, by the way.
So it doesn't go blinded by the light,
wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night.
That's the best part.
Okay.
Does Springsteen do that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've heard the original. It doesn't sound the same, though.
Okay.
I kind of dig that song, though. Not in any way other than, like, if I'm in my car, it's fun to sing along to.
It is catchy.
Yeah. This is, I don't know if this is going to be the first episode of this rebranded Pop Culture Experience podcast that we release, but it is the first one that we're recording. And I'm now wondering how much singing I am going to do over the lifetime of this podcast.
I hope a lot.
I'm thinking a lot. Yeah. I'm not good at singing. I love to do it.
That's a song that, like, you hear it, you're thinking about it the rest of the day.
Yeah. And it's also one of the, it falls in the category of songs that are way longer than they need to be. It's like 8 minutes long.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's a very long song. It joins the ranks of, like, I was going to say Stairway to Heaven, but Stairway to Heaven works as long as it is. Any song Meatloaf has ever done.
Oh,
fuck off, Meatloaf. You don't need your songs to be 10 minutes long. They would suck at 2.5.
I do not like Meatloaf.
That's because he's awful.
I love eating meatloaf.
Yeah, I love the food.
Yeah.
Hate the man.
Oh.
As a musician, I'm okay with him as an actor.
He was great as Robert Paulson.
Yes. He was great as Robert Paulson. He was great as Robert Paulson.
Pop culture, bitches!
Yeah. There's a reason that I initially wanted to name this podcast Pop Culture Autism. I decided against it because obvious reasons.
Right.
Okay, so number 3 on the list. I actually, within the past few months, had a friend tell me that he didn't realize this was a cover. Red Red Wine by UB40.
I did know this one was.
Yeah, originally by Neil Diamond. Mm-hmm. I love me. I hate Red Red Wine, both versions. I also hate the song Sweet Caroline. But Neil Diamond has some tunes that I really fucking like.
So I
Cracklin' Rose, you store-bought woman. You make me sing like a guitar humming. If you don't interrupt me, I'm going to sing the whole thing. No, please.
Why don't you like Sweet Caroline?
It's been played to fucking death.
So I want to say something right now. I think I added you. Like, I want to do a podcast where we talk about songs that are fucking great songs
that have been ruined. That's a great idea. Yes.
And that would be one that I think easily could land on that list, especially here in Ohio. People who listen to this outside of Ohio don't know, but it's an Ohio State Buckeyes staple.
Yes. Oh, there's been so many fucking obnoxious people in my life that I'm not going to go into.
But yeah, I knew that was a cover. I did not know it was by Neil Diamond, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep, Neil Diamond. Okay, number 4, I Want Candy by Bow Wow Wow. I did not know this was a cover.
Is this I Want Candy?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
I don't think it needed to be recorded once, let alone twice.
Like,
yeah, it's.
Why did somebody listen to that and go, shit, we got to do that song?
I don't know. Bow Wow Wow had children screaming for sugary treats in the 80s, and Aaron Carter kept the chant going in 2000. Wait, hold on. Aaron Carter recorded a version of this song too?
How many people
in 2000?
covered this song?
It looks like there's 3 versions.
Jesus Christ.
Bow Wow Wow, which we all know and hate. And then apparently Aaron Carter, brother of Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys, recorded a version in 2000. But apparently it was first released in 1965 by the Strangeloves.
Whoa, 19. I would love to hear what that sounds like.
Let me bring it up.
Oh.
So it was the Strangeloves, I Want Candy.
Are you going to do this thing where you play snippets of these songs?
I wasn't. Maybe.
Okay.
Who knows?
Just asking you in the middle of recording.
Yeah. All right, let's hear this. Fucking YouTube ads.
I'm going to tell you right now, I don't hate it.
I don't either. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I kind of love it, actually.
It's way better than the version I know.
Way better than the Bow Wow Wow version.
This is, and we're going to get into this later in this discussion, but that is a cover right there that became what everybody knew of the song. No, wait. No,
A cover that became more popular than the original, yes.
And that was way better.
That was way better, yes. I 100% agree. All right. I'm happy we did this. Now I know. Apparently, I need to check out the discography of the Strangeloves because I'm digging them. All right, number 5 is a song that I hate so very much.
Okay.
I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett.
Oh, Christ.
I did know that it was a cover.
I did not.
It's garbage, but whoever does it. Eventually, Britney Spears also did a cover of it, which was... Oh, yeah.
Are you serious?
100%, yeah.
Britney Spears covered I Love Rock and Roll.
Yep.
That doesn't even... That'd be like somebody in hip-hop doing a country song. It doesn't even make sense.
I know. It doesn't...
Yeah, okay.
It's a terrible song, no matter who does it, though. I really fucking hate I Love Rock and Roll.
I don't know that I like Joan Jett out of the Runaways, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know that I can think of a single Joan Jett song outside. I like some of the stuff from the Runaways.
Sure, yeah, me too.
But Joan
Jett on her own?
Yeah, not into it.
I'm with you on that. Ooh, number 6 is a surprise to me. Mambo number 5 was a cover.
I did not know.
I didn't either. Don't particularly care.
Right, moving on. No.
Well, the original was from 1949, though.
Holy shit.
Yeah. That brings up actually one of my favorite covers, and maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves, but Istanbul by They Might Be Giants.
I love that song.
It's a great song, and it's a cover of a song that might even be older than 1949. All right, number 7, Tainted Love by Soft Cell.
Wait a second. They covered it?
Yes, and then eventually Marilyn Manson also covered it.
Everybody, not everybody.
It's an odd trend that we're seeing that cover songs usually get covered more than once.
I knew this because of my list, because I put together a little bit of a list.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll hit some of the songs, maybe we won't. But I discovered that. I discovered how frequently songs got recovered.
That's really weird to me.
It was to me too.
I'm wondering why that is. There has to be some kind of reason behind it.
Well, yeah, because they're hits, right? So
are they though? We didn't know that fucking I Want Candy was.
I didn't even know that Soft Cell covered it. So Soft Cell had this song. It was huge in the 80s. Marilyn Manson, covered it 20 years later.
Yeah.
It was a big hit for him.
Yeah.
Just like Sweet Dreams was for him. Sweet Dreams put him on the fucking map. It literally did.
Was that the first thing that...
Wasn't the first thing
I mean, the first thing that put him on the map. And yeah, you're right.
Because that
came out before The Beautiful People, right? Like that was was that on Antichrist Superstar?
No, it was on the Dope Hat. The Dope Hat was on the album.
Yeah.
Smells Like Children.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But that song, everybody in the media gravitated toward it because nobody was doing anything like Marilyn Manson at the time, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. But apparently, Soft Cell covered it. It first entered the cosmos nearly 20 years earlier via Gloria Jones.
Huh.
All right. Number 8. I've made my opinions on Beyonce pretty clear. I don't. One of my favorite jokes that I ever wrote when I was doing stand-up that never really landed like I thought it should have was, to me, Beyonce is a lot like Nutella, Everybody loves it. I don't know why, and I've used both to masturbate.
Wait a second. I'll tell you why that joke didn't land. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Because it's funny, but I can't imagine. I don't know what Nutella even feels like to masturbate with it. Is it sticky?
I don't know. I've never masturbated with Nutella. It was just a joke.
Right. So maybe there are people who are like, clearly he's never had Nutella.
That would never be a good thing to masturbate with.
Right. That's a terrible idea.
This comedian is factually wrong.
I love how he asked you to be serious about your joke. No, have you done that? Yeah.
But okay, number 8, If I Were a Boy by Beyonce. Didn't know, didn't care.
Yeah, I don't know much about Beyonce. Put a ring on it. I think I do know that song because it was covered by Pomplamoose.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Number 9, Hound Dog by Elvis.
I did know that.
You did or you didn't?
I did.
Yeah, me too.
Most of what Elvis
by
did.
Big Mama Thornton.
A lot of what Elvis did in those days were cover songs.
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't blame Elvis for that. Like, that was a time where, like...
I do blame Elvis for fucking a 14-year-old.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. But not for this.
No, that was a time, like, where, like, that blues, gospel...
People
soul,
just recorded standards.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, yeah.
And everybody did it.
Yeah.
Like, so...
Which is odd to think about that was the landscape of popular music, as opposed to now where it's nothing like that at all. Like
that's so true.
Like back then, I'm assuming I wasn't alive back then, but like multiple people would come out with albums that would have a lot of the same songs on them because it's this guy sings this old jazz standard or this blues standard or whatever. But yeah, Elvis did a lot of that. Number 10, I think everybody knows at this point. I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Originally done by Dolly Parton. Whitney Houston's version, I think, is way better.
Way better.
Yeah.
I actually hate the Dolly Parton version of that song. It's because the Whitney Houston version was, number one, it's tremendous.
Yes.
Number two, it was huge.
Yeah.
So that when you hear the Dolly Parton version, you're like, I just went from high def to...
Yes, the Whitney Houston version has an emotional gravity to it that Dolly Parton's does not.
Correct.
Yeah. Number 11, I can't imagine who wouldn't know that that the Fugees' Killing Me Softly was a cover of... Calling that a cover, I don't even think is accurate.
Why?
No, you know what? I was misremembering the Fugees' version of the song. I was thinking there were like rap verses in it, and there weren't.
Okay. But I could see why you.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I thought everybody was aware that was a cover from Roberta Flack. Number 12, Twist and Shout by the Beatles.
Yeah.
I honestly, if you would have asked me who sang Twist and Shout, I don't even know if I would have said
the Beatles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that Chubby Checker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Chubby Checker was the Twist.
The Twist, that's right. Yeah. Twist and Shout.
Does it say who originally recorded it?
The Top Notes.
Okay.
The Top Notes. But a bunch of people have done Twist and Shout. Number 13 is a song that I didn't know existed, and therefore did not know that it was a cover. Drift Away by Uncle Kracker.
Nope. I'm the same. I don't even...
Yeah. Whatever happened to Uncle Kracker?
I didn't know there was an Uncle Kracker.
Oh, you don't remember Uncle Kracker? I think he was Kid Rock's DJ.
Jesus.
And then he came out with his own shitty brand of
white trash Americana crap.
Yeah, that is a perfect way of describing Kid Rock and Uncle Kracker.
Okay.
White trash Americana crap. Number 14, Dazed and Confused by Led Zeppelin. This opens up... I did know this.
Okay, I did not.
This opens up a deeper discussion about Led Zeppelin, though.
Okay.
There is a lot of conjecture and some evidence that Led Zeppelin were a bunch of dirty thieves that stole music from other people, and obviously this was a cover, so it doesn't really count. But have you seen any of that? Heard any of that?
I think last summer was when there was that big lawsuit or big discussion about them taking an entire guitar riff from something.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until that came out. And then you started reading like, no, they did that all the time. Like,
yeah.
They wouldn't steal music from like anybody who's notable. They were stealing music from people who were trying to fucking make it.
Yeah.
And they were taking their
Yeah.
songs and making
Some completely unknown blues musician.
Yes. Yeah.
Like Washboard Willie, or I love blues musician names.
Washboard Willie is amazing. We created a fake. You may or may not have seen this on our Instagram, but we created a fake bluesgrass band.
I did, yes.
Called the Giants of Gildersleeve.
Yes.
We had singles and single album covers. But yeah, I didn't know that last year when all that stuff was being written about them. I think it was last year. I don't remember.
Yeah, they there's some, like, you can go to YouTube and it'll be like, here's an example of everything Led Zeppelin stole from someone else, and it'll play like the Led Zeppelin version and then what they stole. The thing to me is there's some that is undeniable. Mm-hmm. There's some where it's like, okay, they used a common chord progression that 800 million musicians have used before. Like, I don't know, if you're putting together a evidence of thievery, keep it to the hardcore evidence. But anyway, I have zero tolerance for people who steal creative stuff. Joke thieves, music thieves, I have no tolerance for them.
And that could be that should be one of your pop culture things, like the whole joke thief thing, especially as somebody who's done stand-up. Yeah. George Harrison once said it, and I can't remember when he said it. Look,
I have a headache. Sorry.
This never happened before. No, he said, look, there are literally only so many notes you can play.
Yeah.
Inevitably, somebody's going to be treading on something somebody else wrote. And I personally had written a song forever ago, and I can't remember what Marilyn Manson song it was, but I had four just chords that I had written it with. Well, the verse part, right?
Yeah.
And there's a Marilyn Manson song that uses the first three chords. Mm-hmm. Clearly, they didn't rip me off.
Yes.
Right?
I've done that twice, actually. Once was with the song Axel F from Beverly Hills Cop. Do, 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 do. I accidentally wrote that. And then it was a Whitney Houston song, speaking of Whitney Houston. Don't make me close one more door. I don't want to hurt anymore. Stay in my arms if you dare. Don't walk away from me. I Have Nothing by Whitney Houston. I accidentally wrote that too. But yeah, that happens. Like parallel thought, and again, there's only so many, especially with music, mathematically, there's only so many.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And how many times people play with music, it's an inevitability.
Yeah.
Now, what Vanilla Ice did with Queen and David Bowie, that's a blatant
yes. And that's I do have sympathy for the idea of parallel thought, I wasn't trying to steal anything, just my brain independently came up with the same thing or a similar thing to them.
Right.
There are situations where it's, like you said, obvious thievery, and for those people, they can go fuck themselves.
Like
if you're not creative, don't go into a creative endeavor.
That's exactly. If you spur creativity by listening to other people, and what I mean by this is to then take the leap off of where they left off, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna tread all over their shit.
Yes.
It's different if you listen to artists or look at artists and you have your own inspiration come from that. But if you're like, well, I'm gonna an answer to that song.
Yeah. Agreed.
Dangerous territory, fuckers.
Number 15, Mickey by Tony Basil.
Hey, Mickey, you're so fine. You blow my mind.
Hey, Mickey.
Hey, Mickey.
I did know that was a cover. I did not know it was by Racy. Number 16 is surprising to me. What a Man by Salt and Peppa.
What a man. Really?
Yeah, apparently.
Man.
And by the way, this list credits it to Salt and Peppa. It was actually Salt and Peppa and En Vogue. Let's not take credit away from the ladies at En Vogue.
So here's my question: how many popular songs did Salt and Peppa have?
Well, they had What a Man.
Yeah.
They had
something about
Shoop.
sex.
Let's Talk About Sex.
Okay, we're already at 3.
Okay.
I was just going to use them as an example of, is this a one-hit wonder that took
Okay.
But I didn't.
But it apparently was originally done by gospel singer Linda Lindell,
Okay.
which is an odd name.
Yeah.
Wait, what is this now? Hold on.
She covered it from...
Wait, this is... Okay, this says, before Salt and Peppa shared their praise for a mighty good man, gospel singer Linda Lindell, who once supported such acts as James Brown and Ike and Tina Turner, recorded the song in 1968. Okay, recorded the song in 1968. However, Lindell did not perform the song until 2003 due to threats from the Ku Klux Klan at the time of its release.
I want to know more about that.
Me too. We're going to put a pin in that.
Yeah, right. What? First off, the Ku Klux... Have you seen The Black Klansman?
No.
It's a great movie. But the Ku Klux Klan just really boggles my mind. Like... What kind of threat over that song?
That's my like. What an odd thing to
exactly.
Like.
I don't understand.
Yeah, it was originally in 1968. I would think, not that I want to put myself in the shoes of a Klansman or in the hood of a Klansman.
Right. Dress appropriately, Dan.
It seems like there was more shit going on in the 60s that would have pissed off the Klan.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
blacks were getting rights.
Right. That's why I want to know more about that.
Yeah.
Like, did she record it in a city where blacks were starting to gain, like, some ground in terms of being or having civil rights, etc.?
Yeah,
right?
we're gonna have to look into that.
Yeah, I want to know more.
That might be a future episode or not, depending on how interesting the story is. Number 17, "Ray of Light" by Madonna. Did not know.
Did not know.
Have I ever talked to you about Madonna?
No, we've never talked about Madonna.
Let's take a quick break from this list to talk about Madonna.
Okay.
I hate Madonna.
Okay.
A lot.
Okay.
I hate her as a person.
Okay.
I don't know her. That's not fair. But I hate her antics, I guess, is a way of putting that. And I hate her music. Outside of, I think it's 5 songs that I love more than anything.
Okay. This is
It's such an odd dichotomy.
Yeah.
Yes, there are I think 5 or 6 Madonna songs that I love. And if they had been the only things Madonna had ever released, I would have been like, this Madonna girl,
right?
She's got something special.
One's got to be "Papa Don't Preach."
No, I hate that song.
Really?
Fucking hate that song. It's garbage.
Really?
It's a garbage song for garbage people.
Okay.
No, okay. Borderline is one of them.
Okay.
Love Borderline. I'm drawing a blank.
That's all right.
No, it's not all right,
okay.
Patrick. This is my pop culture podcast.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm moving your podcast along.
Hold on. Let me bring up my Madonna library on my phone. You would think I'd be able to
really
easily
don't
remember
like
them.
Papa Don't Preach.
No, I hate it.
Okay.
Crazy for You. Love
Okay.
it. Like a Prayer, I think, is just a phenomenal song.
It is a good song.
Cherish is a good song.
I don't know that I know that one by name.
Cherish the thought of always having you by my side. You make me feel good. Cherish. No, nothing.
No.
It's good. It's good stuff. You should check it out. The song "Dress You Up." Gonna dress you up in my love, in my love. Yeah. Borderline.
Mm-hmm.
I already said Borderline. And Open Your Heart. All of those songs, love them. Think they're fantastic songs.
Okay.
Everything else Madonna has done, including the movie A League of Their Own, dog shit.
Oh, I like League of Their Own.
So do I, but it just seemed like the thing to say at the time.
I mean, there's so many. John Lovett says, "See, the way it works is, girls, the train moves, not the station."
So what are your thoughts on Madonna?
Madonna...
I also, by the way, I also think she has grossly overstayed her welcome.
I actually agree with that.
Okay.
Like Madonna going to retirement.
Yeah.
But like these little things that she does where she comes out of retirement, like when it doesn't really matter. Aretha Franklin. No, what soul singer died last year? Not Aretha Franklin. Fuck. But anyhow, like Madonna came out to
I am not making a good case for me hosting a pop culture podcast. I'm forgetting all this shit.
When they did the tribute for her, Madonna came out and basically talked about herself for 10 minutes.
I think that's why I say I hate her as a person.
So Madonna, like, passed the stuff that she did in the 80s when she was huge before she got...
It was Aretha Franklin.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. When they did that Aretha Franklin tribute, she literally talked about herself for 10 minutes. She did, like, Aretha Franklin inspired me too, and then it was all about her.
Yeah, that's
so you're
gross.
Like, okay, fuck off.
Yeah.
So anyhow, like, everything she did in the 80s, I think, well, not everything, most of what she did in the 80s, I think was tremendous. When it got into the 90s...
when she was doing Ray of Light.
Yeah, that was just all shit.
Yeah, I agree. Number 18, First Cut is the Deepest by Sheryl Crow.
I hate Sheryl Crow, by the way.
Me too.
Can't fucking stand... I don't think she has a single song that I can even stand to listen to.
Yeah, I don't think... I don't mind First Cut is the Deepest, but I already knew that was someone else's song.
I hate her song so bad I didn't care that it was someone else's.
Fair enough. I also do not think... I was about to say, not that this should matter for a musician, but I don't care. I don't think she's attractive in the least.
Oh, I found her attractive.
I don't, not at all. Maybe it's that dumb mole that she has on her face.
Bad.
I don't like moles.
That mole's bad.
Okay.
I don't like moles.
That's a very odd line in the sand to draw, but I've drawn it.
I do not like moles.
Number 19, the song Venus by Bananarama.
I know the Bananarama version of the song.
Yeah, me too. I did not know it was a cover.
No.
Written by the Dutch rock outfit Shocking Blue.
Oh.
Those Dutch.
Yeah.
Number 20, Superstition by Stevie Wonder.
I feel like I did know that.
I feel like I didn't. It's hard to imagine Superstition being anyone else's beyond Stevie Wonder, but Wonder delivered this track to guitarist Jeff Beck in exchange for Beck's assistance during the Talking Book sessions. Interestingly enough, Wonder's rework still emerged months before Beck's due to album delays on the latter's side. I don't know that we can consider that a cover.
I was literally going to say the same thing. And I think the only reason I did feel like I know this is I know enough of Jeff Beck's work.
Yeah.
That I think I've come across that. Like, this is familiar enough.
What this is saying is that Stevie Wonder delivered the track Superstition to Jeff Beck, which indicates that Stevie Wonder wrote it. And then it's also saying that Stevie Wonder's work came out before Jeff Beck's.
So I think here's what I think happened. Because I've seen this in other things. Stevie Wonder wrote it, gave it to Jeff Beck to record. Mm-hmm. Jeff Beck recorded it. But due to delays in that album coming out, Stevie Wonder also recorded it, and his came out first.
Under no definition of cover could I consider that a cover.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, okay.
That one's confusing.
Yeah, it is. Number 21, Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash.
I did not. I know that people have covered his version.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Apparently, it was originally done by his sister-in-law, Anita Carter.
Oh.
So that's a fun fact for you.
That's a hell of a fun fact. I didn't know his sister-in-law outside. I knew June had a career. I didn't know her sister did.
Neither did I.
Let alone write one of his most popular songs.
Yeah. Interesting.
Can you imagine that Thanksgiving dinner? They're sitting around and he's like, I got an idea. Song you did, Ring of Fire. It's not that real. It's not that good. I've recorded it.
Not that good.
I've recorded it. I made it better. And how dare you, Johnny?
I have the feeling that Johnny Cash was on so much coke that his Thanksgivings were way more violent than that. Number 22, Feeling Good by Nina Simone.
Don't know it.
I don't know it well enough to sing it. I do know it. I did not know that it was a cover written by Leslie Braccusi and Anthony Newley.
Okay.
So there's that.
She did them a favor.
Yeah. Well, did she? Because we still don't know who the fuck they are.
But they're getting royalties off of it.
That's true. Yeah, so, good point.
I mean, Nina Simone was awfully popular.
Number 23. Okay, this one confuses me because I haven't looked at the meat of the entry yet. Okay. But the name of the song, it's making me feel like Celine Dion covered a Huey Lewis song.
Okay.
That can't possibly be true.
Well,
it's saying The Power of Love, which is a Huey Lewis song.
Power of Love.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
And it may just save your life.
There's no way she would sing that.
That's the thing. I don't know Celine. I know Celine Dion. I know
Right.
My Heart Will Go On.
Yeah.
I know a few other songs. I don't know this Power of Love. No, okay, it's not the same song. That's very disappointing to me, actually.
I just imagine Celine Dion doing her residency in Las Vegas. Go, it's the power of love.
This is why I cannot be an eccentric millionaire.
Okay.
My money would be gone in a week's time.
Okay.
Because I would pay Celine Dion whatever amount it took to get her to record. You know what? At this point, if I'm shelling out the dough for it, an entire album of Huey Lewis covers.
Okay, I love it.
I want Hip to Be Square. I want Power of Love. I want New Drug. I want Stuck With You. I want all the Huey Lewis hits.
When was the last time you... I'm serious.
If you're going to ask me the last time I listened to Huey Lewis, within a couple of months.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I don't know that I have ever... And I subscribe to streaming music. I have at my fingertips any art I've never bothered to even want to go
Patrick, I got to
listen
tell you,
Huey
you're
Lewis.
missing out.
Okay.
Because there's some fun tunes to be had, Huey Lewis. You're not going to get anything deep or substantive.
Right.
But you're going to have... Look, when the weather breaks finally and we're in springtime, I want you to get in your car. Let's say it's 72 degrees out.
Ooh.
Nice and sunny. Get in your car, roll the windows down, just put Huey Lewis Greatest Hits on shuffle, and just drive.
All right, I'll do it.
And you're going to have a damn good time.
I'll do it.
Number 24, the one that sparked this whole conversation, Torn by Natalie Imbruglia, which we've already covered.
Glad that made the list.
Yes. Number 25, Achy Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus.
Get the fuck out of here. That stupid ass song, he decided, like, I'm going to record that? You got to be shitting me. That's on there.
Yep. Originally done by a country music trio called the Marcy Brothers. And they released the track titled as Don't Tell My Heart 1 year before Billy Ray Cyrus did it. That just seems like stealing music.
He changed the title and a year later released it.
And this goes back to the one hit wonder.
Yeah,
You're no longer, not like anyone thinks of him as anything other than Miley's dad at this point.
Yeah, but how did she end up with a career? And what I mean by that is, like, he stole someone's song a year later, changed the title. It was awful, and she ends up popular.
I have a lot of questions about Miley Cyrus's popularity. Her popularity it's indicative of the kind of popularity that somebody who's really sexually attractive would have.
Like Paris Hilton.
Yes. Like, I don't understand why. That's why they're popular.
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus is not sexually attractive. I have no
opinion on that.
She's got odd teeth.
She has. It's her voice for me.
She's got an odd voice too.
It's deep.
And I don't understand Miley Cyrus's popularity. Would you like to hear the original?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Let's hear this. That's not the original. That is a YouTube ad. Now here's the original. Sounds exactly the same.
Yeah.
This is the exact same song.
Okay. Yeah, he should.
Same stupid hick twang and everything.
Yeah, he should have just left that alone.
For a number of reasons.
That's exactly my point. Like, if somebody comes to you and goes,
but it made him a millionaire, so
that dumb mullet of his.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Wow. Okay, so that was the 25.
It was interesting.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. There were some that I didn't know about. I learned some things. So you said that you have. I gave you the homework of coming up with lists, and you so gracefully did that.
Yeah.
I did not come up with lists, so we're just going to go with your list. I've got some opinions.
So I have okay. How do you want to do this? I have 5 covers that I like, and I have 5 covers that I don't like.
Okay, let's alternate.
Okay.
Let's go. We'll start with like, and then we'll alternate.
So here's something that, as I put this list together, that I discovered about myself. I always said...
Wanted to live as a woman.
No. I always had this thing when it came to cover songs, like, if you're going to do a cover, there better be a damn good reason you're doing that cover. Like, I felt like this, right? And what I meant by that was you make it your own. Like,
Put some kind of spin on it.
put some kind of spin on it. As I look at this list, I don't know that I actually follow through with what I believed I thought about covers.
Interesting.
Also, it's painfully evident from this list. Anybody that knows me is going to instantly understand what kind of music I gravitate toward, and that's basically all I listen to. So,
all right, let's
cover I like. The first one on here, and I fucking love this cover. It's My Life by No Doubt.
I despise No Doubt a great deal.
Okay.
Mostly because of Gwen Stefani.
Okay.
I don't care for her antics, much like I didn't care for Madonna's. And also, that song in particular, I don't really have a problem with, but a lot of their, what was the Just a Girl? Hate that fucking song.
This is what I'm saying. Like, this is a perfect example of where I'm outside of my own reasoning already because I can't stand No Doubt.
Right.
Yeah. But I fucking love this song.
It's not a bad song.
I thought it was just Gwen Stefani. I didn't know it was No Doubt.
Oh, okay.
Originally by the Talk Talk.
Yeah. Yep. That would be one that I think became more popular than the original in that realm of
probably.
Yeah.
Cover I don't like. Mad World by Gary Jules.
I will go with you on this one. I don't know if we've ever talked about Tears for Fears.
We've not.
In case anyone didn't know, that was a cover of a Tears for Fears song. I adore the fuck out of Tears for Fears.
Me too.
I think Tears for Fears is probably the most underrated band from the 80s. I think they get lumped in with a lot of the cheesy 80s bands of the time. They were so fucking musically talented, and they put out great fucking music.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I like the Tears for Fears version of that song so much that that melancholy, drab bullshit that this Gary Jules did is garbage.
I don't feel that strongly against it, but I'm inclined to agree more with you than with people who love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cover I like, and this is my favorite band of all time. I love Dead Souls by Nine Inch Nails.
I don't know who was the original.
Joy Division.
Okay.
And that's a tough one to take. Joy Division they were in their own right really good.
Yeah.
But I love that song.
I'm not familiar with that song, either version of it, so I can't really opine.
I can't really opine. Cover I don't like. Sound of Silence by Disturbed.
Oh my...
You literally like jumped away from the microphone.
It angers me. It angers me so. First of all, it might be the worst cover of all time, and people act like it's amazing. Like it's
horrid.
It's horrible. It's fucking awful. And I'm not like. Look, I like some Simon and Garfunkel. Mm-hmm. I'm not a huge Simon and Garfunkel fanatic, so that's not where this is coming from. It's just a fucking garbage version of that song. Ugh.
It's bad.
Yeah. So far, I am really on board with your dislike list.
I like a lot of Simon and Garfunkel, and their song, it's tremendous.
Yeah.
So for Disturbed, I think what happened is like people are like, "Oh man, it's this metal band, and they're really getting in touch with."
It is the Disturbed fan base, the angsty quasi metal guys that like I've acted like a pussy my whole life, but like an angry pussy, and I want something that epitomizes angry pussy.
Right. Yeah.
And that is Disturbed's cover of.
They probably don't know there was another version of that song.
I would be surprised.
I know.
I don't know. No, I wouldn't. I have such little faith in humanity.
Back to my list of covers I like, and you're going to hate that I have this on here.
Interesting.
You and I are both David Bowie fans.
I knew this was going to be coming. I knew this. Here's the thing. I'm actually glad this is on your list because I wanted to talk about this anyway.
Okay.
Go ahead and say what it is for.
Nirvana covered The Man Who Sold the World on their Unplugged album.
Yes.
And it's fucking good.
Here's where I might surprise you. I agree with you. It's fucking good. What bothers me about this cover is not their cover of it. It is the fact that people don't know that David Bowie did the song.
Okay.
To the point where there was some interview where David Bowie was talking about he performed the song once and someone said, "Oh, it's so cool that you're covering Nirvana."
No shit.
That shit angers me because of my burning love for David Bowie.
Sure, yeah.
Nirvana is a band that I really don't give a shit about. I think that they are given way more credit than they deserve. I think if Kurt Cobain hadn't killed himself, they would not be remembered as fondly as they are. That being said, I do like the cover that they did of Man Who Sold the World.
We should, separate conversation, have a conversation about Nirvana. Because
Sure.
I personally, please let me finish this thought before you jump all over me. Nirvana was equally as important to our generation in evolving music out of where it had gotten stuck as the Beatles were to theirs. Now, I'm not saying, I am not putting Nirvana on Beatles level. I'm just
I wouldn't be offended by that anyway.
Well, I know, you're not a Beatles guy. I'm just saying,
I'm fine with the Beatles. That's
I'm just saying that, like, music...
Culturally, I agree with you.
Yes.
I agree with you 100% culturally. My opinions on Nirvana musically are what I previously said.
Okay.
And I take it even like to the point where when we talk about bands that Dave Grohl has been in, Nirvana's the bottom of the list to me. Them Crooked Vultures is better. Foo Fighters is better.
I actually agree with that statement. But I think he would even say that his time with Nirvana propelled his opportunities.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
But I actually agree
I don't argue with the cultural importance of Nirvana.
And them we're gonna spin off the rails.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot to say about that too. I think we'd agree on almost everything.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to be said. So here back to my covers I don't like. Here's a song from an artist that it's my favorite song by this artist. You and I both like this artist, and it's a cover by a band that I love and I hate their version of this song.
Okay.
Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, covered by Queens of the Stone Age.
How have I never heard this?
It's awful.
Really?
It's awful.
I just had a very odd emotional response of like in the course of 2 seconds finding out that a song that I adore was covered by a band that I adore. That excitement immediately crumbling by remembering that you were saying that this is awful.
Yeah, it's bad.
Really?
And it's my favorite Elton John song of all time.
It's up there for me. It's a great fucking song.
I think Queens of the Stone Age doesn't get enough credit for how tremendous musicians
I 100% agree.
They are. Josh Homme is unbelievable.
Yes.
In his talent level.
Agreed.
And they really fucked that song up.
That's interesting. I'm going to have to listen to that.
So cover I do like. So I actually liked it to the point. I like that I'm at the point with some of these covers I have to talk about them a little bit. This one is going to be a little bit confusing. Nothing Compares to You. Ah,
yes. I think it's better than the original, which is weird. Go ahead. I'm getting ahead of...
No. I don't even like... I prefer the Chris Cornell version over the Sinead O'Connor version.
Oh, Chris Cornell is the version that you're talking about on your list?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the Sinead O'Connor version, which was a cover of...
Which is a cover of, by the way...
Written by Prince, or originally sung by The Family.
That's exactly correct.
Yeah.
Most people wouldn't have known that.
Yeah.
The Sinead O'Connor version is tremendous.
Yeah.
It's better than the Family version.
100%.
The Chris Cornell version, and this has nothing with the fact that he died, he's just a far better singer than
Chris
Sinead
Cornell
O'Connor.
was a phenomenal singer.
Yes.
And actually one of the things that kind of forms my opinion on Nirvana is them getting credit for that Seattle scene.
Over Soundgarden?
Over Soundgarden or Pearl Jam or a number of Seattle bands that I think were superior. But Chris Cornell was just a lights out, ridiculously amazing vocalist. I don't know that I've heard him cover that.
Oh, it's awesome.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Awesome. And there's actually another cover that he and his daughter sang it.
Interesting.
And it's not as good in my opinion, but they're both, I mean, he's an amazing vocalist. And I like what they do with the music.
Yeah.
So there's two for you to listen to.
Awesome. I'll listen to that after I get disappointed by Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Cover I don't like. Just Like Heaven, covered by Dinosaur Jr.
I don't know the cover in question. I know the song, obviously, the Cure.
Yeah.
I do not know that I've ever heard Dinosaur Jr.'s cover.
So here's the thing. A lot of people have covered The Cure. A lot of bands.
Yeah.
Stop trying to fucking cover The Cure. That's how I feel about it.
I feel that way about Queen.
Have you heard the Pussifer version of Bohemian Rhapsody?
No.
We'll come back to this.
Okay.
Because I couldn't agree with the statement you made more, and I want to talk about that. In the purview of this
I honestly
conversation,
cannot wait to talk about that. So
Okay.
we'll finish up what we're talking about with Dinosaur Jr. and the
I've
Cure.
heard a lot of bands cover The Cure. I'm a huge Cure fan. You aren't going to do it better.
Yeah.
So fucking stop.
Yes.
You may make it rockier, you may make it grungy or whatever, but it's not going to be better. Stop.
Yeah. Okay, so how many more do you have on?
One love, one hate. One like, one hate.
Okay, we'll finish that up and then we'll go back to
Yes.
Pussifer. Yeah.
Okay, so my last cover I like, and it's Landslide by Smashing Pumpkins, originally done by Fleetwood Mac.
Hate the song in any.
Okay.
I am not a Fleetwood Mac fan one bit, especially Stevie Nicks sung songs on Fleetwood Mac. I have some tolerance for the ones that were sung by Lindsey Buckingham. Yeah. But even those, I'm just not a Fleetwood Mac guy whatsoever.
I like Fleetwood
Also,
Mac.
not a huge Smashing Pumpkins guy.
I'm a big Smashing Pumpkins fan.
Fair enough.
And so the last thing I have on when it comes to likes is any album that Me First and the Gimme Gimmes have done.
You're stepping. We were going to get to that, so
Okay,
we will.
Sorry.
No, it's you had no way of knowing.
Okay, my last one covers I don't like, and this is just I fucking hate this band. Faith by Limp Bizkit.
Oh, that's an easy one to shit on. Rightfully so.
It deserves to be shit on.
100%. Yeah. Odd thing about Limp Bizkit is Limp Bizkit.
Yes.
Is Wes Borland, their guitar player, actually a super fucking talented guitar player that just hitched his wagon to the douchiest band possible. Yep. I almost feel bad for Wes Borland.
Remember when Wes Borland, he was he did that solo project. So he did that solo album, Black Light Burns.
Yes, yeah.
So I remember like the anticipation of that, like, oh my God, this guy who's the only talented member of that band is gonna fucking finally do his own record, and it sucked.
I had a similar thing with Twiggy from Marilyn Manson. Although Marilyn Manson as a band, I think, is much better than Limp Bizkit. At least late 90s.
Okay.
Marilyn Manson's a whole other discussion, but Twiggy came out with a side project that was very disappointing to me.
Twiggy did?
Yeah. I think it was Twiggy.
So
hold on, let me Google this to make sure.
Twiggy, who I caught a water bottle from on stage, by the way. I kept that.
Awesome.
It's the only thing I've ever caught.
Yeah, it was called Goon Moon.
Okay.
And it was a Twiggy project.
Turns out he was an asshole because he was sexually assaulting that singer from Jack Off Jill when he was in Marilyn Manson. That's why Marilyn Manson kicked him out of the current Marilyn Manson.
Good. I'm glad his side project sucked then. Yeah. Fuck you, Twiggy.
And then my last thing.
Everyone knows Antichrist Superstar was awesome because of Trent Reznor anyway.
Yes, that's absolutely
true.
The last thing on here, the new Weezer Teal album.
Please tell me you think it's garbage.
It's horrid.
It's so fucking bad. God, there's so many topics that we're touching on that could this could be an 18-hour podcast. Weezer is the most heartbreaking band in history to me.
They blew it.
Their first album, the Blue Album, in my opinion, is in the running for best pop album of all time.
Fucking great.
It's the best pop rock album of all time, in my opinion. And then for I'd say two albums after that, still pretty good. And then just nosedive into shit. And that Teal album is absolute fucking garbage. They cover Tears for Fears. I can't remember which song, but it angered me. Maybe it was Shout. Or Everybody Wants to Rule.
Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Which is a fucking amazing song. And ugh.
I mean, there isn't a single redeemable track.
Not one.
On there. They
No.
cover Beyonce.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, come on. They've covered TLC.
Yes.
Get fucking over yourself, Rivers.
It is the anti Me First and the Gimme Gimmes.
Yeah, right.
Which, I was going to bring them up because Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, for anyone that doesn't know, is a pop punk outfit that exclusively does cover songs. Like every album is an album full of covers, and they're fucking amazing.
They're awesome.
They are all so fun, and just some that like I don't even like the original version that now I'll find myself singing just because of the Me First and the Gimme Gimmes version. Anybody out there that hasn't heard Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, check them out. I guarantee there's at least one song in their catalog that you've heard, but you've never heard it like this.
Right. They're so clever too. Like they'll take a song that somebody did and it's their quintessential hit, right? And they'll make it into a 2-minute pop, punk song.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll change lyrics. Sometimes they'll, cut entire verses out. Like it's basically verse, chorus onto the next.
Yeah.
But it's awesome.
Yes.
They're so good.
100%. They did a cover of Only the Good Die Young by Billy Joel, where they changed one of the lyrics to "Have you ever tried sodomy?" Yeah, Me First and the Gimme Gimmes is good shit. What were we going to circle back to?
We were going to circle back to Pussifer covering Queen.
Yes. Okay, so my opinion on covering Queen is it's similar to your opinion on covering The Cure in that you're not going to top it. And by that, I mean, you are not going to be able to top what Freddie Mercury was able to do with his voice.
Correct.
However you feel about Queen's music, which I'm a fan. If I remember, you're not a huge fan of Queen?
My relationship with Queen is a weird one.
Okay.
How do I want to start? First off, there may not be many better rock singers ever than Freddie Mercury. He was surrounded by unbelievably talented musicians. You cannot deny the extreme talent that was Queen.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of a lot of the operatic stuff that like they experimented with, which by the way was some of their biggest stuff. I actually like some of the like kind of punkier stuff that they did way earlier.
They did what's largely considered to be the first thrash metal song.
Yeah.
Which was, oh God, it's escaping my mind what the name of the song was.
And it's been covered. It's been covered by, it was covered by Metallica.
Yeah.
What the fuck is the name
Stone
of that?
Cold Crazy.
Yeah, Stone Cold Crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Which was in like 77, I think.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, and anybody that's listening that is thinking thrash metal and Queen, listen to that song. Yeah. It is definitely a thrash metal song.
Yeah. So that's how I feel about Queen. Just not my first.
Yeah,
go-to.
sure. You recognize the talent, but a lot of their creative choices were not stuff. But yeah, that's regardless of how you feel about the music, it's undeniable what Freddie Mercury was able to do with his voice.
Right.
And so that's my problem with people covering Queen. The interesting thing is you said Pussifer covered a Queen song.
Yes.
If there's one vocalist out there that I would think would be able to do with his voice, it would be Maynard.
And when I've listened to, I just recently came across Pink covering Bohemian Rhapsody live. And I think Pink's a really good singer, and it was terrible.
I actually like a lot of Pink's music. That even you saying that sounded abysmal to me.
It's bad. It's not even worth going to find. But here's the thing about this particular cover done by Pussifer. They do not go out of their way to do their own thing with it. As a matter of fact, it's evident when you listen to it that they said, we're going to do exactly what Queen did, and the reason we're going to do it is because we admire the musicianship and the vocals so much. We're going to attempt to do it on our own.
Interesting.
There is no deviation, and it's really fucking good.
I'm gonna have to check it out. Like I said, if you would have come at me with just about any vocalist besides Maynard, I would have been incredibly skeptical. But Maynard is, I don't know, today's Freddie Mercury.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I've thought for the longest time that he's the best rock vocalist that we have now. And there are a lot of great ones.
Sure.
But when you hear this, you'll understand like, oh no, he did it. He pulled it off. And they weren't trying to take a phenomenal, amazing song and just dumb it down so they could do it.
Yeah.
They were like,
they
no.
tried to do it.
They said, the standard you're set is the standard we're going to go for.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check that out. And I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to shut off this podcast.
Hell yeah.
You guys can all go fuck yourself. No. No, thank you for listening to the Pop Culture Experience, part of the Guiltless Network, guiltlessnetwork.com. Patrick, thank you for coming on,
My
part
pleasure.
of the Guiltless Podcast. Check them out on iTunes, everywhere that you can find podcasts. Rate, review.
It's fucking important.
All that jazz. It's really important. Thanks for coming on. Thanks all of you for listening, and we'll see you next time.